So what's coming up for you is we have here the Earth Mother. So like I said, a very supporting energy. Number 3 being divine support and a mothering energy. What I'm picking up from this card is that you are in transition. So like we talked about, you are in the transition phase at the moment. You're ready to be reborn. You are in the womb right now. Energetically, you are inside the womb and you're being ready to be reborn. And what I see here is that she has everything. Like, she has everything. You have everything that you need to be nurtured, to be cared for. It may not feel like you have everything right now, and you could think, well, but I've lost this and I've lost that, and you may think like, oh, but my finances are low. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's why you're at your low point and that's why you feel like you're struggling. But the divine is here to let you know you genuinely have everything that you need to get you through. And you are going to get through this period. You are in the transition period right now and you are about to be reborn. Like, you're coming to the end stages of that. This could still be another few weeks, another month, 2 months, but you are about to be born again. You are about to be the tree who blossoms its flowers again, you know? And that's what life is. It's phases, it's new levels, it's new experiences, it's learning, it's evolving. And we're all just here to guide each other through that. Yeah, so I see you have everything that you already need to be nurtured, and you're about to be reborn, okay? So we also have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse come up. And what I see with this imagery is that, like I said, you've been struggling financially at the moment. So the number 8 is balance, but because it's in the reverse, there has, like, what's contributing to this lower feelings is an imbalance of finances. And you know, this day and age, that's completely understandable. I think a lot of us are going through that, and we can all have a compassion and understanding for each other in that regard. And maybe it is tougher for you. Like, I've definitely felt the pinch. I've definitely had to try and ring my bill places, all of my like payments and things like that, and yeah, see if I can get any discounts or lower the cost, or even have to cancel things. And what I see is that this guy is like sort of crafting here, and I feel like that's the same for you guys. You're crafting ways to save money at the moment, or be able to get as much money as you can at the moment. Like, maybe some of you are being a bit creative, but because it's out of balance, yeah, you're definitely feeling that. It was in the reverse, sorry. You're definitely feeling that pinch, and you're trying to find ways to restore that balance. So that is one way that's probably really contributing to just this feeling of struggle street. We're in the dumps. Understandable. If you don't have that foundation of security, of course you're going to feel really stressed. Your foundation, your baseline, you don't have a proper support to stand on. And so what I picked up with we had the Ace of Swords come out before, and what I picked up with this Ace of Swords is that, yeah, like, look at this little mouse. He's like clinging onto this dandelion, and it's like trying to float away. Even in the upside one, I think maybe in the upside one, he's trying to reach the sword, but like in the reverse, it just to be honest looks like he's trying not to float away or let something get away from him. So what I was picking up from this is that you're holding on, and that's what I was talking about before, is that we're holding on to like these old ways of managing and getting through the things that we got through, or just these old ways of being that were really functional for us, that worked for us back then, that are probably not working now because you are a different person. you always have your essence, like the essence of you remains the same, absolutely, but you are a different person right now. And so holding on to like these old ways and sort of trying to not like let go and accept that new strategies can come in for you, or new habits, new routines, that's sort of like, it's not helping with this transition. It's sort of like prolonging that transition. And I know that can be really hard, like when you're feeling like your foundation of security is just out the window. We do try and cling on to the things that we knew that kept us grounded, and in some regards I do think that's helpful, of course, because we do need things that keep us grounded in these hard times, and we always have our fundamentals. But what I'm saying is that everything that worked in the past is not going to work now. Maybe like only one thing is going to work from the past that's going to work now for you. But it's for you to really like listen to yourself. Stop trying to keep putting a puzzle piece that doesn't fit. Stop that. Stop trying to freaking squeeze the puzzle piece in. It don't fit, sis. It don't fit, okay? Yeah, you may also be quick-tempered these days. I know that I have been, and I think what's really hard is like this self-sabotage that comes with that. This self-shaming, this being like, I'm such an awful person, like I never used to be this awful, I never used to, you know, just not care the way I do anymore, and I just don't give an F, and I'm just so agitated. And while all that might be true, as long as you're trying your best not to project that on people, or you're having radical accountability for that, I want to validate you, because I want you to know that it's kind of understandable. I mean, all this time before this thing that really interrupted this karmic, it was a karmic situation years ago, several months ago, that really disrupted you. And what I want you to know is I want to validate that. I want to validate your feelings of agitation and not caring, because you're tired, and that is okay. Like, before this disruption happened, you were always there for people, you always supported, you gave your best. Maybe a little bit people pleasy for some of you, I'm picking up. Maybe you gave too much for some of you, I'm picking up. But you had a pure heart. For the most part, you had a pure heart, and you're always willing to see the benefit out of the doubt. You're willing to work through things, and you know, you persevered. You have a lot of resilience. And then this life event happened, and it just crushed you, and there was betrayal and hearing just chaos, the disbelief of something happening that was just unbelievable to you. It was a process you had to work through, and although you've worked through the hardship of that, I don't really you worked through it. I feel like there's more so like you got through it. Like time helped you heal through it, or just like time separated you from that traumatic event. And yes, there has been healing. You know, you kind of understand those people and the level that they're on, and the frequency and the manipulation, and we're not going to go there. But I can understand, like, you're tired, and that's okay. And you can't expect yourself to always be the bigger person. You can't expect yourself to always, like, you always have been the bigger person. You always have been the person to want to work things out, to want to look at things from a mature perspective, point of view, and just overall, like, you never want to do anyone dirty. Like, Karma's a real thing, okay? You been knew that. And if you don't know that, I'm telling you, maybe you feel that. So karma is a real thing, like, and it's not really in you. It's not your nature to just go out of your way to friggin' hurt people. Maybe now you are agitated, you're grumpy, you're tired, you're projecting a little bit. Maybe there's jealousy. Maybe there's just like you have no capacity. You're always on a thin thread. And maybe you have taken it out on your loved ones a little bit, even strangers. If you've been over the top with that, take some accountability. Apologize to those people. But what I'm feeling is, for the most part, for most of you who are tuning in, is that is not your innate nature, and everything that you've been through has led you to this now. So you don't have capacity, you don't have the bandwidth, you don't have the emotional capacity to deal with things the way you used to deal with them, because you just don't. And that's okay. You're allowed to be tired. Because I don't want to promote people just spatting at people all the time and then constantly being like, sorry, I don't have the capacity. Like, we're not promoting narcissistic abuse, okay? We're not promoting that. But understand where you're at. Get in tune with yourself. Understand where you're at. Journal it out if you have to. Like, yeah, like, I really feel like I don't have capacity. This makes sense. I don't have the capacity to care, to sympathize, to be who I was. Acknowledging, having awareness, and then knowing your limit, and just being a little bit open with people regarding that. Just being like, look, I don't have as much capacity. If they invite you to something, be like, I'll be there if you want me to be there, but don't expect me to have a grandiose conversation with you, because I'm tired, my brain's not there. And if they love you, they're like, that's cool. As long as you're just chilling with us, you don't need to talk, that's cool. That's just an example. That this would be the implementation of these new tools of how do we get through these hard things now, because what worked in the past isn't working now, because we are in a period where we've never felt this before. We've never felt how, like, in the past, we've never felt how we feel now. So yes, we do need to discover new tools, and this is what I'm talking about, letting go of the old. Okay? You can do it. It's a beautiful transition. You can see it in the way of, like, our slate is being cleared. We are becoming new versions of ourselves. The slate is being cleared. We have the ability to rebuild ourselves. You feel like you're at rock bottom. Rock bottom's kind of good, because then you can be like, well, who am I? What do I like now? What do I want to do now? What kind of friends do I want now? What's my values for relationships now? What hobbies am I interested in now? What ways can I learn to regulate how I feel now? Like, this is a transition, a chance to be reborn. That's what I'm talking about. So I also got the Queen of Wands here. So for some of you, there is a grandmotherly figure, and whether she is in this life, in this physical realm, or she's passed on, she's in the energetic realm now, there's definitely this grandmotherly figure. If you have a grandmother still in this physical realm, you're being prompted to visit her. You're being prompted to spend more time and to get some wise advice, just some general caring and loving support from a grandmotherly figure. Maybe if it's not your grandmother, maybe it's somebody else's grandmother who you've always confided in. Take it how it resonates, take it how it fits. Three bunches of those, like, lavender flowers I'm seeing there. So she's really here to, like, try and support you. And also with the card, there was an indication to release this negativity. So that's another thing as well that's been really highlighted at this point in time, like where we, like I say we because I'm part of the collective too, and it's for those who have tuned in, who are resonating. It's been really highlighted that at this point in time, this transition that we're in at the moment, like where we feel like we're at our rock bottom, we have those old limiting wounds, have like limiting beliefs and like wounds have come up, like I said. And so with that comes like this negative voice, this internalized voice, and it's not even our own voice, but it's just like this negativity, it's just like this ego. Like even for example me, like I was like, right, I have this inspiration come to me last night to channel a message for the collective, and it came to me last night, like in the middle of the night, and I wrote it quickly down so I could like channel this message, and then I was like, I'll sit down and do it today. And then I had so many like thoughts of like, oh, but maybe it was just a fluke, like a couple people tuned into your last video and it helped them, but it was probably a fluke, like no one's gonna do that now, you're not gonna help anyone now. Oh, but it was inspiration last night. Do you really even feel inspired now? Like it's just, what I'm saying is that is an example of this negative chitter chatter pitter patter twitter twat. It's just this negative internalized voice, and I want to say it comes from fear. It's the enemy, it's the opposite of God. It's trying to hold you back. And I know that you really struggle, you're struggling, there's financial issues, there's just being fatigued, there's being at your capacity, there's feeling like you're at your absolute rock bottom. I get it. But on top of that, you don't need this negative voice. You don't need this negative internalized voice just putting you down, putting yourself down, self-shaming, and it's being really echoed at the moment. It's like on a megaphone at the moment, just like constantly shouting in your head. And what I want to say about that is tune in and bring some awareness to those thoughts. Now's the time to stop. Please stop letting them, these internalized thoughts, to overrun and overrule you, because in doing so, this Queen of Wands, this motherly, grandmotherly figure, she is really highlighting that in doing so, in highlighting this negative voice and letting it just overrule you. It's interfering with your creativity, it's interfering with abundance, it's interfering with this whole transition period. It's interfering with your work life and even your relationships. You know, like nobody loves a Debbie Downer. And I'm adding myself with that because I struggle with a lot, like I have been struggling, and at times, a lot of times lately, I've just been more of a Debbie Downer, and it's like I know I struggle, but do I really need to feed into these negative like loops and be a continuous Debbie Downer? No. I know it's easier said than done, but what I really want to promote and highlight is to stop, be aware of those thoughts and validate them and being like, you know what, okay, I get you feel like that, but that's not the truth, and switch it. The truth is yada yada yada. And because maybe a lot of these old wounds, like I was saying in the beginning, they're coming back from childhood, they're coming back from these wounds in like old relationships that didn't work out, or just things like that. And so they're these internalized voices. You know, for example, I'm not good enough, and then just repeating it megaphone in your head. You need to stop and be like, okay, hold on, I'm sorry that I don't feel good enough. I'm sorry. You need to talk to your inner child. Stop and saying, I'm sorry you don't feel good enough, but that is not the truth. And I'm sorry about the fact that people made you believe or made you feel that you were not good enough. And I know that that hurt you and you feel hurt about that. That's understandable, you feel hurt about that, but it's not the truth. And those people had their own shit. It's not to invalidate how you feel or how it made you feel, to gaslight you, but those people are going through their own shit. Take back your truth, take back your power, be like, but that's not my truth anymore. It wasn't even the truth then. I am enough, you are enough, we are enough, we are worthy, we're beautiful humans on this earth, we're learning, we're growing, we're evolving, we're trying, we're doing our best. That's all that matters. The 10 of Wands in reverse. I don't know if these images are showing up very clear for you, unfortunately. This is a lady, okay, I don't know if you can see it. This is a lady, she's carrying these 10 of Wands. I see these spirit guides up here, and there's a little squirrel there. Because it's in the reverse, I'm feeling like, yes, you feel like you're carrying this big load on your shoulders at the moment. You're at your rock bottom, it's so heavy. You have literal guides here, energetic guides, as well as you have physical, you have people in your life who are willing to take this load off of you, and you just keep holding on to it. And maybe you're holding on to it with this negativity, and you need to find ways to release it, because what's happening is there's a part of you that's there is a part of you that's holding on to this heavy burden and this heavy load. And I feel like the way that you're holding on to it is probably, like we just talked about, feeding into these negative beliefs. Take it how it resonates. But there is a divine guidance that's calling you to give it to God, give it to your ancestors, give it to the divine angels, whomever. Pass it over to them in some way. Communicate with them. Ask them for support. They're here, they're waiting. They're here, they're waiting for you to pass it over, to ask for their support. Pray to them. That's what I'm hearing. You ask and you shall receive. You don't ask and they don't know. Or maybe they do know, but they want to help you. But they also kind of want to know how you need help. So I'm also getting that this 10 of Wands in reverse can also correlate to somebody, your energy feeling really prideful, in the sense of just a perfectionist. So there's some task, maybe it's work related, maybe it's personal, take it how it resonates, but it's almost like a controlling, like you want to control the situation, so you don't allow anybody you don't delegate anybody else to help. And it can be like a huge task that you feel like you need to achieve because you're really struggling at the moment, like these big successes or things that you've wanted to achieve. They feel like they're on hold. So like maybe at the moment, yeah, we're feeling like our plans to success are on hold, and we're just feeling like we've overcommitted ourselves, we are unable to accomplish it. And maybe that's the truth right now, but what you need to see is that other people are capable, and maybe maybe some of them won't do it perfectly up to your standard, but we need to trust others and allow that help to come in because we need it. Like I said, call our support system in energetically, God, as well as people in our lives who are there and who are willing to help. Take that load off of you right now, and also just accept. There needs to be an acceptance of this is where you're at right now, and that's okay. It's totally okay to be where we're at. It's okay to feel overwhelmed, overburdened, fatigued, tired, like things are too much, like the ideas we had for success gone skis out the window. That's okay at the moment. Like you need to I'm hearing radical acceptance of the situation for what it is, for what you are in right now. There's no other way out. You can't cling on to other things. You can't cling on to this heavy burden. You can't not let people in to help you. What's going to help shift this dynamic is radical acceptance. Being present with it, radical acceptance. Go back and to some fundamentals and do some acceptance meditations, guided meditations. They have heaps on YouTube. It's so incredibly helpful. Or I don't know, but there is a call to like find a way to accept where you're at. This is what it is. And not just accept it, validate it. Okay, fair enough. Understandable. I do feel like crap. This is happening. Here it is. I've been led to here. Everything happens, everything leads you to right now. And right now is important. Right now is where you're meant to be. We can find ways to transition, rebuild, but first we need to accept. So we also have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. So it's like somebody riding on a horse. They have this big golden pentacle on display, but it's in the reverse. So what I'm getting is that somebody came into your life, or in the past that sort of led you down here, I guess. Or maybe this is still recent. Anyway, what I'm picking up is someone strode into your life on this big, grandiose like horse, and had these big gestures and offering this materialistic stuff, which you're probably not even that interested in. Maybe you are, I don't know. Either way, they came in, maybe it was with words of affirmation, maybe it wasn't just materialistic, even though the pentacles demonstrates materialistic. Perhaps they were an earth sign, so Taurus, hang on, let me just, yes, I just had to look up earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So maybe this is relevant to you. This doesn't have to be their sun sign, but perhaps it is just in their chart somewhere predominantly. Either they strolled up into your life on this knight in shining armor, and they had these grandiose things that they wanted to offer, but it was all a facade, right? So it wasn't real. Or maybe also this type of person is someone who was a figure to you. I'm getting strong masculine energy. It doesn't have to be a man. I'm getting it could be someone's father. It could even be a mother with really just masculine qualities. But yeah, someone who was a figure to you, maybe like a parental figure. And I'm feeling like this is possibly where some of these old wounds are stemming from, and where you can sort of get to the root of why you have the beliefs that you do now, and you can sort of get to the root of those and uncover them, unpack them, validate them, heal them, and move on. What I'm also picking up with this Knight of Pentacles is in reverse is that currently they are not, I feel like they're not in your life at the moment. They're not prevalent. Even if you haven't completely cut them off, you're not really, there's not a lot of talking going on with this type of person. And yeah, this could also be adding to like this feeling of stagnancy and just this low feeling that you're going through at the moment. What else for the collective? That's interesting. We had the Knight of Pentacles, now we have the King of Pentacles. So again, this whole energy of like this masculine figure is being highlighted. Doesn't have to be a man. They came in with these gestures and it was a facade, or they were a figure to you and you looked you looked up to them, but they let you down in some way. They weren't as they seemed. So, you know, you thought they were this knight in shining armor, but that's just what it was, a shiny object. Maybe you put them on a pedestal more than they deserve to be on. For some of you, I do feel like they do want to come back with an offering, a peace offering. That's up to you to use your discernment. So if you feel like you don't have the capacity to let somebody in at the moment to have the tough conversation, no, that's a hard one, because I don't want to promote putting things off, because I've definitely been doing that in my own life, just with the conversation that I need to have with somebody. But at the same time, if you know that you completely are unable to do that, maybe just give yourself some time at the moment, a little extra time, just to uncover all that we've just gone through, and so that you have more capacity to deal with this conversation from a more grounded, supported place in knowing your truth and who you are.